All right. So we were going to go into a loose kind of look at the Brittany Murphy situation because I want to take it over to UNIRock 2 with a video and upload and a live stream. But first, I want to kind of verse myself in the issue. Though, right around that time, I started getting these things come in about Without a Crystal Ball and Katie having an issue. So I kind of thought I'd let you guys update me. So, only 11 minutes late. What kind of sorcery is this? The kind of sorcery that Busy allows on a Monday, Sunday day. What day is it, Busy? Busy? Busy! Give me 1 second, please. Let me wake him up here. Busy. Yes, what day is it? Will you come out of the tunnel and actually help with the soundboard? Sorry, Busy's acting a little crazy. Anyway, though, I don't know what to do first. I don't know what to look at first. I'm going to fire my assistant if I don't get a... oh, there it is. Okay. Play the piano for a second, Busy. Nice piano. You're welcome. Okay. Thought I had to sneeze, but I'm okay. I don't have to cough or sneeze. Hey guys, how are you? Basically, I've changed my mind on the topic that we've been talking about for a year. I'm not judging anything until the judge rules after something that just happened, but I'm not allowed to talk about it anymore. So, I'm not going to. Next, just want to let you know, I take back everything I've said for the last week, other than the video that I uploaded there, and I'm withholding my opinion until the end. The end. You've probably heard why. You probably heard the rumors. They're shooting around the community now. It's shooting around the community now, these rumors. Okay. So the next thing is we're going to talk about this actress named Brittany Murphy. And the story is so out of whack that it seems like it'd be a cut and dry case of an accidental or medically related tragedy. Though, the deeper that you look into it, the more people that are going to scream in your face, foul play. If you haven't been around here, if like you're new to my channel or you've only been here for a few months and you haven't really, when I haven't really been doing my normal content as much, mysteries like this, murder mysteries and strange happenings are the bread and butter of my busy sandwich. I'm not entertaining those disgusting thoughts, Busy. You're not winning tonight. You're not winning tonight. The bread and butter of my YouTube presence is based around mysteries, and there's nothing like this story. One reason is because Brittany is should have been a huge actress, and she got ghosted, if you didn't know. Essentially, she went to Hollywood, and these rumors started flying around. And I heard it was because of something called a blind item. Now, some of you are going to say, UNIRock, did you say blind item? And then I'm going to say, yup, I said blind item. If you've been around my channel for a bit, then you already know what a blind item is. I did an entire video a while back on blind items. Again, I'm not going to try to completely come out with everything here because I need to look it up and read kind of like the thing with you here on it, because a blind item is a rumor. It's an unsubstantiated claim in Hollywood that gets attached to a famous person, and they say they come from industry experts. You get me? But in reality, you never know. Some of them do turn out to be true. Others turn out to be pure fabrication. A blind item hit Hollywood, and it kind of changed her reputation. So that's one thing that's interesting. That happened, and then, as you see, she passed away. Now, but if you look at her listing of movies here, she was in Futurama. No way. Oh, wait a minute. Wait. Was she in that 70s show? No, I'm not getting her confused with Mila Kunis. I think she played like a guest role. We'll have to find out. Because the reason why, you'll say, why are we looking at Brittany Murphy? Two things. One, when she passed away, it was only like a couple months later, and then her hubby passed away the exact same way. Now, why is that weird? Because she died of like a rare thing. She didn't die because of like a normal sickness or something. It was kind of rare. It was kind of weird. It was strange. It was like, you don't expect two people to pass of the same ordeal. Though then, 5 months later, her husband passes of the same thing in the same way. Now, this new concept has come out in the last while that says that her mom had Munchausen's by proxy. Now, if you followed any story in the last year or two, you know what Munchausen's is. It means a mother or a caregiver tries to make the appearance of somebody close to them looking sick, or even themselves sick too, so that they can get the attention of giving care to that person. Maybe they get money, maybe they get other things, but you get me, right? So I'm not going to accuse her mother of having Munchausen's by proxy, because I don't have to. Everybody else already has. And do I think that she does? Of course not. I'd need evidence to think that. The problem is the mother has completely disappeared. Now, it's not like this is a brand new story, but I do kind of want to hit on what's mysterious about it and read a little bit of some things. And I said, I'm going to do it live. Though, as soon as I think about coming live and talking to you, then we have this issue with Katie. So I want to kind of get updated on both things. You tell me what you've heard. Tell me what you think. Let's just go to the live chat, because I can't do a long live stream today. I was, unfortunately, at doctor's appointments, and it lasted way into the afternoon. So I just had my whole day sapped from me. Let me pop out my live chat and grab it. Pull it over here. And I was going to yell at Busy for something, but I just changed my mind. I'd like to just go ahead and yell at you. And Busy! I'll wait. Hey, Brainy, what's up, my dude? Good to see you. You heard sheep? Oh, yeah. Well, Brittany, Busy loves Brittany. Whenever he sees her face, he just starts baaing like a sheep. It's really strange. I don't want to try to get into it. It's creepy. So, essentially, though, I want to take a quick look before I get started on anything else, since we're just chilling on rockAlot, and I want to see what Katie is saying, because she just did this stream. She just had to do this stream called Thank You, and I think probably in the beginning of it, we'll get an answer to what the Hades is going on. So, get ready. You know what happens anytime we look at Katie having a problem. The minute we take a look at it, everybody starts flipping out. So, let's hope that nobody starts flipping out. Let's hope that it stays nice and chillio. Let me get my screen set up. No, okay. Here we go. Yeah. I heard that. I did hear that, but I thought that... I know she did a stream earlier today where she kind of went into it. I didn't know if there was something new. Why won't this play? Here we go. I'm not going to play a lot of Katie's video here, because I know she's still live. I just want to hear the very beginning of it to hear what she said, because I was live. I didn't get to hear it, so here we go.
Hi, guys. Hi.
Hello.
Welcome.
Thank you.
Thank you guys so much for being here.
You're welcome.
Please, thank you guys so much for your kind words and your amazing comments on the other video. I'm not going to really be speaking about that, and I am going to ask the chat not to talk about it.
Understandable.
In terms of what was done, and please don't use the terminology. I just don't want to be triggered right now. So please just be respectful.
I mean, it would be like really crappy to have that whole thing drudged up in that way. You know, it brings up a kind of a theory, a thought experiment that I want to do with you guys. You know me and my thought experiments, because we think so much here. We think a lot.
It's been a really tough day, and I've cried a lot. And I am not an super emotional person. I'm really not.
Busy is. I just told him you were.
I do this job because I love reporting and I love to share stories, and that's why I do what I do on YouTube.
Me too.
And
I mean it.
Outside of sharing stories, I feel like a part of me is just this advocate naturally. I've always been fearless to share my voice, sometimes without thinking about how other people will retaliate.
I don't see why people do retaliate as much as maybe give an opinion back. I don't know. It seems like a huge disconnect. That's kind of what we're going to talk about, but we got to understand it first. Let's
not always understanding that not everyone listening cares. Not everyone listening is listening for the right reasons. Not everyone listening really wants, has.
Who was it that liked my Hogwarts shirt? One of you guys was really complimenting me on it. I would like for you to admit who you were because I'm wearing it for you now. I wore it because I said, who was it that said they liked that? Maybe it was Bullet. It wasn't Drunken Bullet. One of you guys said that you liked the shirt, and that's why I put it on.
Has the right intentions.
I was like, I want to wear it for him.
I have used my platform over the years to advocate about sorry, hold on.
Okay, the first question, the thought that I'm going to pose to you can't she come out and talk about that without being berated? Is there anything that she can talk about that will not result in her being berated? You know what I mean? You get what I'm saying by berated? To have people just take it as if it's false and take it as if it's bad and just be suspect of it. I just don't understand why there aren't just some things, you know what I'm saying? Some things that are just not sacred, but at least you get me.
I've used my platform over the years for a number of reasons. I've advocated for my son. I've advocated for mothers of children that have
and I think people should be able to discuss their personal things. I think if you let's say fire it out more than just give your experience, I think that might be an issue. We'll talk about it. I don't think that happened though. I'm just saying.
Mothers of children who have special needs. I have spoken openly about my struggles with my mental health. I have spoken openly about
hey, we're all crazy. We're all crazy. That's why we're on YouTube.
Essay that happened to me in 2007. And
I don't even know how you can talk about it. It's just crazy.
And it's never
It'd
been
be hard.
There's been times throughout this journey where it is very hard to put everything out there. And it's been hard to be so open and
I would imagine
fearless. I feel like one of my best personality traits at times is that I just don't worry too much about what people think.
I don't either, honestly.
Or what people
been like that my whole life, or at least since I was in school or whatever.
And honestly, I don't.
Hi, Shopaholic. I'm kind of figuring it out myself. I've heard what happened, and I don't want to go into it too much. What exactly happened? I just want to know what she says she's going to do about it.
I think you could do this kind of work if you really cared a lot about what people thought about you, because most people there's always going to be people that don't like you.
Oh God, every time. It's just that typically, the way YouTube has been for a good while, yeah, you're going to have that happen. You bump into people. When you give an opinion, it's usually not as bad. But lately, it seems like the whole thing's flip-flopped. People go up and give their opinion in all kinds of things, and they never have an issue. But you hit a certain area, and then that's when I think it gets crazy.
And don't care. So people not liking me has never been a problem for me, and people not.
Oh, same here. I mean, I know I'm not gonna. I'm gonna rub people the wrong way the majority of the time. I think that's a good thing. I never was the type of person who attempted to go with the flow of everybody else. You know, I did my own thing, and you know, I like doing things other people didn't really like skateboarding and going to punk rock concerts or metal concerts and stuff like that, and watching certain types of movies and videos that people didn't really watch, like you know, Akira, and I was watching like the anime and stuff like that back when it was real hardcore, before it even was a trend. But then again, Cowboy Bebop, Akira, Dragon Ball and stuff like that. Dragon Ball kind of opened the door, but you get me.
Like you know what I mean? Like you have to have a thick
yes, Kitty, I 100% do.
Skin, and I feel like I've really let a lot
I think there's no doubt
roll off myself the last several years. I mean, I've been writing publicly since 2013. So what, 7 years that I've
Akira
been putting my life out there, and I have been doing YouTube for over 2 years now. So obviously, like, am
I the only one that wears the headphones? Am I weird? Am I strange for wearing headphones?
I'm not private. I'm not
Am I weird?
Some people were like, you're not a public figure, and unfortunately, as according to the law, I am.
But not Jinro? What shit taste? Well, what's Jinro? You got to tell me. What is it? Is it good? If you tell me it's good, I'll watch it tonight. I am at a lack of good anime. And I mean good anime. I don't want the hopping around happy stuff. You got your Parasite. You got your Akira. Give me another one. Give me another one. I'll watch it.
I'm a public figure, so
I love the headphones too. You know, I'm more of a gamer than I started out as a gamer on YouTube anyway. So
I have an attorney because of that. So public figures are a different class of people. We have our lives out for display, and because of that, like, there is just so much that you have to just expect with this job. So I expect people to make videos about me and not agree with me. I expect people to...
Well, of course. You're always going to have the milquetoast opinion out there, the safe opinion. Then you're going to have people that are contrarians, where they just put out what they think everyone's going to hate, and those that go with the flow. Then you're going to have people that just, you know, tell you straight out what they think. I go more for the people that tell me straight out what they think, you know? That's my thing.
Be critical of
Thank you, Darth Chash.
my
That's
choices.
good. Tokyo Ghoul or Death Note? I love Death Note. I just haven't got to watch all of it. Every time I get started, I don't get to finish it. But it's pretty awesome. I'll have to say that. It's a pretty awesome concept. It's got the demon concept, you know, like the deal with the demon type thing, and oh man, it's so crazy. Like just the thought, you know, that thought that if it was possible, oh man, it's you know what I'm saying. It has a lot more relation than Akira in current times. All right, give me the whole name of it so I can write it down, if you will, guys. Yeah, I'll watch it tonight. I'm hooked on good animes, but the problem is, like, you know, a lot of them are good, but they're not, you know, good. You got me? Parasite, good. Parasite's my favorite one. I know that's kind of bland, but still. You know.
I expect people to...
I hated when I found out that there wasn't a season 2.
Hold on. Maybe want to fight with me. You know what I mean? Like, YouTube is a world I never understood.
YouTube, number one rule of YouTube, Katie. Now, this isn't for me. This is from bigger creators. When I first met some big creators on the platform, it was when I was still a really little YouTuber. And Doc Taran Lupo is the first one to tell me this, and it's been like a confirmed thing from everyone. YouTube is, it'll always be it'll always throw you for a loop. You'll never really be able to predict it. It's always unpredictable.
I have to be honest. When I was writing, I did not have this kind of...
Well, that's the thing. You got some people that just hate. It's not that they criticize or have an issue with what you say or anything else. They just don't like you as a person. And they're very affected by everything she says and does. I think that's the issue. Everything she says and does, whether it's a good take or a bad take, whether she did it right, doesn't matter. It's going to be framed the negative way. You just got to ignore that.
Microscope.
But I know you can't ignore what just happened, and you do have to handle it. And that's why I think it's interesting to see if that actually happens now. Because I think that one thing people like I do it, and I know Katie does, and a lot of people do, is just let things go. We're just like, you know what, who cares? Let it go. We don't take the internet seriously. I know some people do. I think that's a problem. And no, I'm not talking about a certain person. Don't even go there. I'm not. But my point is, I think at this point, Katie has to do something. There's just no way around it. There's no end to the level of prying. It's like, do you have a good reason to do what you did? Do you have like a story? Is it a point, or is it just a smear? And at this point, they've gone so far they're not realizing that the only possibility is that they're doing it to smear. And I think they don't even see that anymore.
Spoke on me. I also didn't have as many people trying to constantly go at me when I entered this YouTube.
Well, a lot of them want to get views off of Katie's name. That's just a first point.
This was the first time in my career that I really felt literally that people were constantly poking and going.
Well, that's when your channel grew. Yeah, you'll get that. Nate's going to get that also. What happens is people will want to be close to you, talk to you. They'll want to get an interaction from you, or they'll want something from you. Now, even if you gave them everything they wanted, it will never be enough, and it'll hit this point where they'll just turn out to go the other way. Once they push and push and push, and you finally draw boundaries, or you finally say, hey, not happening, that's the thing that'll trigger it, or maybe it was just the intent the whole time. But either way, you got to expect it. That's why once you hit a certain point, most YouTubers shut the door. They hit a certain point. You'll say, like, man, if I was PewDiePie, I'd be hanging out with all these people. You can't. You hang out with one. Like, he shouted out 10 channels just to be nice. And he shouted them out for a very specific reason. It had a lot to do with the content they did. And they went and poured back through years of those people's content and found stuff that they said was problematic, even though, of course, it would have been impossible for PewDiePie to know that. But that's what they say. They say, oh, this proves something. And I think if you've got to go real deep to prove something on somebody that's not more like a thing that is something subversive, more like if you want to say, this person believes that unicorns exist, and I'm going to prove it. Do you see he shared a YouTuber, and 4 years later they had a My Little Pony video. This proves that they love unicorns. They obviously don't really love unicorns if you have to make the connection like that. You get me? But I do think that's what happens, and it's why people have to shut in.
Going at me and wanting a piece, and I didn't really understand what it was. And I remember I spoke to a large...
Oh, I know what it is. Completely. It all has a theme. There's a theme to every little bit of it. There's always this certain theme that if they show you lied about one thing, then you must have lied about something else. That's the theme, in my opinion. Hey, if we make it look like she lied about this, or if we make it look like she lied about that, or if we make it look like she lied about this, then then she had to have lied about this and this and this. It's a very basic kind of kindergarten, or let's call it a low IQ matter of thinking, but it is, I believe that's what explains it.
Large creator at one point, and they just said, as you grow...
Jen Rowe, gotcha. It's a police paramilitary officer with questions his ideas after a rather explosive point. Really good watch. I'm watching it later tonight. Jen Rowe. It's pretty easy to remember, too.
On this platform.
Who's the stream boss? I'd have to look. I'll look here in a minute. I'll take a look here in a minute.
You will start to get more and more people that don't like you, and they will make videos about you. And
I think it says Lee. I think it says Leroy, but it's hard to read it. I'll have to look in a minute.
And they will say that, and you just have to let it slide, and you have to just know that, like, a sign of success is having people that hate you. Like, haters keep you famous.
Leroy.
That's always, like, that's literally what my...
Not only do they keep you, they make you famous.
My attorney told me, like, your haters keep you famous. They are constantly talking about you. They're promoting you on the different forums. They're spreading misinformation about you, whether it's good or bad, it still gets your name out there. So you have to kind of take it with a grain of salt. So
yeah.
I have made this like very...
Well, you take it with a grain of salt if you know. You got to know this. What is the hardest thing for anybody on the internet that's trying to do anything? And that is having people look at your stuff. Okay? So even if somebody comes to look at your stuff because they don't like you, it's good if they have good stuff to look at, right? It's not good if you're just sitting there blind. Like if you're just sitting there blindly hating or you're doing something dumb, then yeah, it's not going to matter when people come over. But if you're doing content, it's just eyes on your content, and then they're going to make up their mind based off of what they see. They're not going to say, ooh, I heard this, and this. When they come to look, they're going to make up their mind for themselves. It's why, you just got to, take it exactly as that, as that it's a good thing. It's only a good thing if you're putting out good content, if you're doing good work. But as long as you're doing that, then yeah, it's all positive.
Public decision, or I guess business decision, that knowing that there would be people that spoke about me, I just would not address it and I wouldn't watch it, right? So if someone makes a video about...
Well, same here. I do it if the person has like a good criticism and you can tell that they're being fair and they have an actual issue. Yeah, I'll watch it. But I'm not going to give them a lot of my time if it's not pretty obvious. And I've made this rule lately where I'll interact with people as long as they're like slightly respectful. I don't even care if they're hugely respectful. Even if there's just a little bit of it there, then I'm good. That's my litmus test from now on.
About me, and they don't like something I'm doing, I just don't respond. Because
yeah, I
used to respond and I felt like it didn't do anything for me. Like,
it won't. That's why I have the #1 rule for me, next to like 6 other #1 rules, but is if you realize someone's trolling, you just ignore them. You don't give them any jelly after that.
I felt like even if I did respond, my subscribers already believed me, so it didn't serve me any good to defend myself. And then...
well, and your content speaks for yourself, too.
And then all it would do then is rile up the person that I was speaking about, rile up their base, and get them to come to my channel to be mean to me. And I didn't.
Which all that does is give you more algorithmic preference. That's all it does. Whether they're coming to spam mean comments, nice comments, dumb comments, then your audience is going to go in and actually judge their comments. If they make good points, then yeah, people will agree and shit. Most of the time when people are coming to do that, they're just going to hit you and spam you. It's still an interaction for every time they do it. It only helps you. Yeah.
I didn't want that. So
if you have good content, that's the thing. If you don't have good content, it's not going to help you.
I've just sort of taken this position of just not responding. And I made that choice.
Good.
I don't even know, 6 months ago?
I was going to say 6 months.
I don't know, longer.
About 6, 8 months ago.
I know I took you guys on a wild ride several months ago where I always felt like I had to defend myself. And when I put everything to bed, and when I finally just sort of closed that door and it was like May, I really haven't looked back. I don't care to engage. I don't care to fight. I really don't want any of that on this platform. I just want to work and I want to do my job and I want to make content and I want to enjoy.
Yeah, and it shouldn't be a fight. It should just be whatever you put out, someone's going to give an opinion, come back. If they do, then you can respond. And it can go back and forth until each person's fulfilled all the arguments they have. That's the way it's supposed to be. It's commentary. It's response. Yeah, you got to go back and forth a little bit. But going back and forth on YouTube is good. It's when it goes into this other realm where it's like constant live streams of bitching and complaining and all that is bad. And I find that that's what ends up happening once after the first few exchanges. You got the exchanges that go out. You might have commentary. Somebody might respond. You might do a response to theirs if it's good or if it's really bad. But then once it hits a point where everybody said everything, it's all empty after that. Now, I'm not saying that's what's happening here. Of course not. This all just started, but you get me.
Enjoy my life, and I want you guys to enjoy your life. And
okay, I'm gonna start skipping ahead because I just want to get to the meat of the potatoes. The potatoes of the
I
meaty
want this
potatoes.
to always be. I report on this stuff, and it's really not the same. Me pulling court records on a case and talking about a criminal is not victim shaming. Me talking about a crime and talking about the criminal is not victim shaming. It's actually victim. It's perpetrator like exposing, which is far.
Yeah, and that's what I was saying in the beginning. There has to be some intent. There has to be some like point that's made, a criticism or a critique or something, right? I think that's what's lost on the other side.
Far
there.
different than victim shaming. And
Leroy, damn, brah, thank you. Don't worry. If you guys remind me, I will get the busy corn emoji in. I will get the busy corn in. I have to remember. I keep forgetting to put the busy corn emoji.
I just want to say that, like, the reason why so many people don't come out and share their stories is because there are so many people out there that don't believe them. And then when they do share their stories, they are told that they're lying.
Well, I think this situation is a little different because I think there's another motivation behind it from the other side there, yeah.
And today was really hard because...
Damn! Leroy, you're recharging your stream boss-ocity. You're recharging your stream boss-ocity here, bro. It's recharging it.
I had never seen this report ever. And,
oh, shit, that's the wrong one.
Extremely triggering.
Where's the rockAlot stream boss? There it is. Oh, it's Craig. Leroy's damaging.
That happened 10
That's why it wasn't updating. You are damaging Craig's stream boss.
years
Me
ago,
likey.
and statements being made. And
MD says criticism and commentary is one thing, but pure obsessive hate is quite another. Yes, pure obsessive hate is the thing YouTube has been attempting to take off the platform for a while now. And in the very least, they plan on demonetizing people that do that. Yeah. Giving an opinion, having a purpose, having a reason, understanding, reacting. These are all things we do. But when it goes to that one, when it goes beyond, when it passes that boundary, you're right.
And,
you are right.
Knowing that the context that it was being shared in was that I was a liar. And
that's just messed up. How do they know that? They would have to know if there's, you know, if there is a, where's the claim? Where's the evidence? There's nothing there. Oh, this is messed up, dude.
And that somehow they were going to...
Yeah, I can't tell you. All I can say is that I can't tell you.
deconstruct all the different things that I've said about this over the last 10 years or whatever, you know. All I can say is that I know what happened. I know what happened.
Well, it's hard to know when you admit that you were drinking that night and then, you know, there's this allegation of intoxication or being drugged. I don't even know what happened. I don't care to know. What I'm wondering is like, when is Katie going to step up and actually do something? You know, do something to protect herself. Because even if Katie came out with 100% proof on something she was talking about, I promise you'll be able to go out there and find people calling her a liar and not even caring what evidence is there.
Happened to me. I know who was involved. I also know that memory gets foggy, but I also know that, like,
well, so do the police. It's a thing called statute of limitations. If memory didn't get foggy, or if people, as time goes on, these types of things didn't happen, that's why they don't let you press those types of crimes after X amount of years. You know, and when you tell back the story, of course, that's going to happen. It's just human nature. It's not, the problem is intent. The problem is the logic behind it. Is the intent that you willingly are misrepresenting it, or is the intent that, and I don't believe she's doing that at all, or is the intent that you've told the story a few times and now the story is what the story is due to that? Are there major things changed or just a small detail here and there? These are the things that a good criticizer, a good responder, a good commentator looks for, understands, and knows. They know what to hone in on and what not to. They know how far to take one thing, but not the whole situation. They know when they've got to their point, when they've made their point. Just like I'm purposely rambling right now so that you understand I know the point. That's the point. The point was I was taking it. Will you stop? I'm not arguing with you tonight.
Like the very basic.
I don't have the energy.
Of this story of what happened to me have not changed from the very first day.
And that's what matters. Of course, the small details. However many years you go out, small details are going to go back and forth. But yes, of course.
And whether I've disclosed all of that to you is none of your business.
Exactly.
And that was the part of this that I found most horrific, was that there were...
I do too, Zag. I think that this is just... It's time for all of it to... It's what, like another, and I'm going to ask you guys your opinion on some things once we get going. I'm going to skip ahead a little more in just a second. But one more time, there has to be a purpose or a point, right? That's why, like with the last story, this last thing that happened ended it, you know? That's why it ended it. And that's why in other stories, like when I do a versus mode, well, there's a point to the versus mode. There needs to be two people involved in order to document a versus mode. You get me? That's what this has been, by the way. Our last story that just ended this week, it ended because it's a versus mode and one side's gone. And I think that the word obsessive comes in when you don't have an out point, right? You don't have that thing that says, yeah, this is where we dip. This is where we're out of it. And you just make excuses, or maybe not for the case, maybe not for what's happening. You just have a reason to keep going. And I find that remember, this stuff here, like this thing going on with Katie has been going on since well before everything else. It was before a lot of these other things even happened. And this is unrelated to everything else. This is a new issue in a way. But let me get back to it, because I will end up forgetting to go offline. Check Streamlabs. If Streamlabs go out, I will check it right now. Thank you, Snowdog.
That were released. That were my statements that were redacted, that would not and should not have been attributed to me.
Well, see, that's because you're dealing with people who are so dumb they don't understand the meaning of redacted. If you are going to redact something, it means you're not going to let people know who this thing deals with. So let's pretend you're just reading out a redacted document. The minute you announce that the redacted document belongs to Busy, it's not redacted anymore. If you go to a redacted document and you record yourself or you live stream yourself pointing at the redactions and saying, it says this under that, it says this under that, it says this under that, you have unredacted the document by definition. But then again, when you're dealing with people who have no IQ points, not Katie, of course, I'm not talking about Katie here. That's why I think that some people will say, what, the thing that I put on the screen was redacted. They don't understand that the words they spoke unredacted.
That were made public and of people reading them as though I said them. No one was supposed to know.
Thank you, Leroy.
Making those statements.
Well, that's why it was redacted.
And then,
now, what else has happened recently where there was redacted things that other people unredacted and then said they didn't? Really?
And to be used in a way to shame and humiliate.
No. I'm supposed to be skipping through it, but I got caught on this point. Let me skip ahead. I just want to hear this last little thing.
Humiliate me and accuse me of lying.
Okay, there we go. Let's hear that one part again, because I interrupted it.
That was me making those statements.
Yeah.
And then to be used in a way to shame and humiliate me and accuse me of lying is nothing I would, like, the worst kind of pain. I felt like I felt like it happened all over again to me today.
I can understand that, yeah.
I was right back at that same place, and I had to call the station that failed me and talk to an officer and have him explain to me what was released and that none of my information was released, and that the information should not have been released to show my name.
Oof. Damn.
And that legally they did everything they were required to. So they couldn't change.
Well, the reason is because adults in this country are free. We're free. We get to make a decision on what we're going to do. We get to choose whether we go and educate ourselves to what we're doing or whether we're going to do it in an ignorant state. If you're going to read documents on a screen, on a stream publicly, and then you're going to claim that those documents are not redacted or they're not sensitive, I mean, and you haven't educated yourself to the point you say, oh, my defense is I didn't know. That does not matter. Did Streamlabs kick in? Let me know, because it should have kicked in. Oh, it did. Good. My point is, that's what I'm trying to say. It doesn't matter. Just but I didn't know. I didn't know that I wasn't allowed to share an address. I didn't know that it was redacted. It wasn't supposed to be said. Your ignorance isn't an excuse. You still are doing the thing that you weren't, that the law will come in for. It gives her the ability to actually act, right? It's not that the excuse, I didn't know. It's like, oh, I ran that red light. I didn't know couldn't run that red light. Well, you have to know in order, you have to know that. If you choose to be that ignorant, that's your own fault, and it's not going to absolve you of the issue that you didn't do it, right?
My information was removed, but people were putting out my statements redacted using my name.
Yeah. And then claiming that it's still redacted. It's a little ridiculous. It really is.
I don't know how else to say is that's the most violating experience I've ever felt in my entire life, other than the day that this happened to me.
It's crazy, dude. It just will never end.
I have never experienced that. I was hyperventilating this afternoon of civil law.
Uh-oh. Okay, we got to hear this.
Period.
Yeah, I'm just looking for what she's going to do. That's my whole purpose for looking at this stream. You're going to have to go watch it if you want to see everything. It's thank you from WAOCB. So
there's actually civil laws that protect people for this reason. Even though I'm a public.
That's why even though another person we know did something wrong, allegedly, doesn't mean that you can still do that. You can still show his. Yeah.
What was released is a gross violation of civil law.
Ooh.
And I would never do something like that. And I can't tell you how many people have said to me, well, you did that to Sophie Long. I did not do that to Sophie Long. I did not disclose a damn thing that was redacted. In fact, I didn't disclose any of her medical records, and those were not redacted. I also did not pay for those records. Those were provided to me. I also never said that she wasn't a victim. Nor have I ever shamed a victim.
Well, this is the problem. There has to be logic. See, what you're saying right here, what Katie is saying right here, you would expect would be answered by whatever she's talking about. That's what I mean by the point of the criticism, the point of the response, the point of the commentary. If your point is something like this, there needs to be a logical explanation, or at least an explanation that can be rebutted. Now, if there isn't, there's a good reason for why. They trolling. If it's just, I'm going to pretend like I'm just ignorant to all these things so that I can just use it as a defense. Then I'm going to pretend like I did it for that and that and that reason, though I'm not going to give any logic to back up any of those reasons. That's what'll lead you to understand quickly if someone's trolling or not. Because if they're not, they're going to give you these things when they do these things.
I've also heard people
I don't even know who the Sophie person is either, Kaz. I have no idea.
Say, well, you've talked about the Duggar girls. I did.
Yeah, MD, I know.
Not start that story. This was put out by In Touch in 2015.
See, that's the problem, Katie. You just got a bunch of people. They'll make any excuse. Unintelligent people do
Other
that.
business that you are in direct competition with you is a violation of a civil law.
Okay, I got to hear the violation, like what she's saying here.
2 of these individuals that publish these statements that protect
okay, here we go. Pause it, busy. Pause it, busy. Okay, here we go. This is a pretty important thing. I think this is what we need to hear.
Humiliate them, disparage them, discredit them, and attempt to destroy their career. There's also laws that protect disparagement of competitors. 2 of these individuals that publish these statements about me are seeking to discredit me because they also are creating content.
They are? I don't see how that's possible.
Disparaging another business that you are in direct competition with you is a violation of a civil law. This is why I do my best on my channel not to spread vitriol defamation of other creators. I always try to remain fair, objective, and present both sides.
Well, all you got to do is present where you get your information. You need to present why you show the information. She does this, by the way. Why you show your information. If you get something wrong, if you rush something, if you make a mistake, you got to go in and fix it. I mean, as long as you're doing those things and you're doing it in an honest fashion, I think that's what the platform is looking for. The platform understands. They look at the goal. They look at what you're doing. They understand that there's a method, and they look at the method that you're taking to do it. The goal you have and the method to do it. They say, is the goal honest? Is the method honest? And what is the path you took? And did you do what you could do there within reason? And you get what I'm saying?
When you do not present both sides.
So true, Sonny Bum. So true.
And your bias is that someone's lying, evil, terrible, awful, then it comes not as information, but rather...
Well, that's what the definition of bias is. When you enter a thing that you're doing and you've already made up your mind, and then you're going to fashion everything you show towards that, as opposed to being open-minded to see what's there.
You're trying to destroy them.
Oh, I never even see any of it. Like today, it was a shock to me because I never see any of this stuff. I don't, when you give it attention, you give people that do this stuff even a glance, then it feeds what they're doing it for. That's the whole goal from them.
It's so hard to believe that there are people this, committed to hurting people.
Well, that's the point, I think. One of the main reasons that anyone will say they do what they do is because I'm doing this because they hurt my fifis with their opinion. And that's the point. That's what the difference is on an opinion, and the difference is on what's going on there, right? The other side just seems to have done this to try and show a convincing argument. They wanted to convince towards a side. They didn't go in to show what was there and then make a determination.
I honestly, don't even have anything negative to say about either of these 2 people. I would never look up their public records. I would never disclose their public records. I could. They've done enough to me. Hell, I should, but I don't. You know why? Because I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to sink to that low. I could certainly look up all of this stuff, publish it everywhere. I know other people have, but I wouldn't, because that's not how I roll. It's not interesting to me.
Oh, I think it'd be a little interesting. That was a joke.
You can have success on this platform without trying to destroy other people's careers. This is why so much when everything was happening.
I don't think they can. I think it's why they do it. I know that you can. It's a long, hard road. It takes a lot of luck, dedication. It takes a lot of talent, skill. It's a real job. You got to be able to do the things you do at the level of a professional would do it. You can't just wing it. You can't just act it out. I think that's why we keep hitting this point. That's the thing I think that needs to be a little bit askew, is there is a reason that this type of stuff keeps happening, but it's because they can't. They lack the ability. They lack something that would allow them to do anything regular or any type of reaction or any type of other thing. Because when they've tried to do that, they don't get any attention. They only get the attention when it involves this spin, you know, because then people show up to witness the dumpster fire, right?
In the summer, and there was this humongous wave of every creator getting targeted and everybody getting canceled. It's why I stopped. It's why I stepped away, because I realized how quickly people who were innocent were being pegged as villains, and people that had no means or reason to be canceled were being canceled. It was simply like this mob mentality of vitriol that's taken over this platform.
Yeah, I mean, it'll keep going. That'll keep happening. But the more people who make an attempt, who make a who draw a line there, I think it'll push back. It just takes many people pushing back to get there. But yeah.
And I'm not, like, I know I put myself out there, but there are just literally some things you just don't do to people.
True. And if you are going to do it, then you got to be ready for people to protect themselves. And if you're going to do it repeatedly, then I think you're going to get into the position Katie's in here, right?
It's not for me to, like, tell you, like, you should be mad at the people that did this. Like, honestly, like, all I want on this channel, all I've ever wanted on this channel is just to be and do my work.
Zag, she said those exact words. Later on in another video, she said what you just said and much more. Okay, what? I missed what Zag said. I try to keep up. It's hard to pull myself all. Where did Zag go? I can't see Zag. Zag, are you here? I don't see anything you're saying. Where'd you go, Zag? I can't find... Oh, Heather, she didn't say that. A viewer asked if it was possible. She said maybe anything's possible, but something is happening with this child. I don't know why it matters, though. Wait, let me see what the first thing was. Why would it matter? I don't understand. Explain it to me. I think it'd be cool. Explain it. We'll break it down. No one deserves to be victim shamed at all. Cruel people out there. I do need to say, though, that she did blame and shame a 9-year-old little girl and said that she was just being a brat. Why can't she say that a 9-year-old was being a brat if a 9-year-old was being a brat, though? What? So there's an issue with her giving her opinion there? Why? And I'm being legit. Just tell me. Why is there an issue with her saying that a 9-year-old was being a brat? I don't understand. It's the big complaint that she called Sophie Long. Somebody type me a sentence just to tell me who Sophie Long is. Okay, let me just look it up. And I don't want to put it on my screen. Let me see here. English journalist for BBC News. Is that the wrong Sophie Long? We're not talking about the journalist, are we? Is Sophie Long a journalist? Oh, I think I might have just found it. A girl crying, begging not to go home with her mother. The young girl, Sophie, begs to stay with her dad and doesn't believe what her mother and grandmother are telling her. Parents see reaction when Long refused to get out of her father's car. She stayed with them. It's unclear what happened before the camera was on. The video that blew up takes place in somewhere where Long is pleading to stay with her dad. Eventually, she tells her mother and grandmother why she doesn't want to go. She's afraid of her mother's boyfriend. Makes me feel bad on myself. Okay, I guarantee you that he's not something. Fresco police, blank, blank, blank. Mother and father in custody, blank, blank, blank. So what was it? What did Katie do? Was she reacting to the video? Is that what you're saying? That Katie was reacting to the video of this happening or something? Let me see. All right. Big complaint. She called Sophie Long a brat. I call my kid a brat all the time. She is a brat. Well, I don't know. I haven't seen the video. Sophie was freaking out because she didn't want to be blanked. Katie didn't say that somebody in the chat said that. Oh, she was reading the chat and said that? The 9-year-old brat was claiming blank blank by blank blank blank. Gotcha. Said my heart goes out to KJ in every essay because she was not being a brat. She disclosed SA. Okay. You need to back up. No, I'm just trying to figure out what's going on. What are you talking about? I was asking a question. Hold on. Let me scroll up here. Sophie. Oh, I read that. Okay. You would need to look up the stand with Sophie. I just read the article. I think I have an idea. But yeah, okay. So then there's two claims in the chat. We can break this down. One is that she was reading from the live chat and didn't say that herself. The other side says she wasn't reading from the live chat, and she did say that, like, as in her opinion. So you tell me, was it her opinion, or was she reading the live chat? And you're going to have to tell me how you know. So who was saying that it was her reading the chat? No, I have been living under a YouTube rock. Yes. In case you didn't know, I've been finalizing a few videos. So when I do that, it takes a lot of time away from my ability to scan what's going on. But definitely. Okay. I think she was being skeptical about the girl's story. She was reading the chat. Yes. Okay, so there's one of two things that happened. Either she called her a brat or she was reading the chat. Just trying to figure it out. Okay? That's all that matters. I'm just trying to make a point. That's all. I don't know anything about Sophie Long. I don't know anything about what Katie said about Sophie Long. I'm just asking you. Some of you say, I've got half of my chat saying that she called her a brat, and then I got half the chat saying she didn't. She was reading from the live chat. Just trying to figure out how you know. That's all. Let me know. I was trying to warn you, back up, stop, when you said that she was wrong if she called her a bratty because you did not know what you were about to step in. Oh, well, I appreciate you and I love you. I'm not mad at you, Chimera. I appreciate you doing that. And yeah, I wasn't trying to snap at you or anything. I just want to make sure you know. Yeah, I'm not going to... If she called her a brat, she called her a brat. And if she read her chat, she read her chat. I just want to figure it out real quick. So yeah, wait, let me see who it was. She said it, and it seemed like she was being bratty. And then some of the live chat agreed. Videos on Reddit. I asked if she was being bratty in the chat. Oh, Callie says, I asked if she was being bratty in the chat. She read the chat where somebody mentioned the child was being a brat and agreed she may have been being bratty. Oh, okay. So it was before Katie even knew what was going on or something when she was reacting to it? I watched the original live stream. She was reading the chat and agreed it's possible that she was being a brat. 9-year-olds can be bratty. Then the whole stand with Sophie thing blew up. Oh, so it was before it even was a thing or something? Katie is really, like, an eye for stories. She'll talk about stories, and then they'll go viral afterwards. I've seen that happen so many times. Stop rhyming. It's hurting my brain. I didn't even know it. I must be a poet, Bino. I was a poet, and I didn't even know it. Oh, I got to stop. Sorry. I'm hurting your brain. Poet, know it. Yeah. Sorry. I don't think it was a big deal. Kids can be brats. She called her a brat, or she said she was being bratty. I don't know. Personally, think KJ could have been a bit more sympathetic to the little girl, but each to their own. Sorry, Bino. I was trying to rhyme your name. Nothing rhymes with your name. Dang it. You got me. You got me. I couldn't rhyme your name, Bino. Anyway, this is what I think. I think that people are way too critical of Katie because, of course, I have that opinion, though, because I've seen this, like, hate train. I did a video on the hate train against Katie and when it started and what was behind it. And I think it's just all too often people hear what Katie say and they're just like, oh, my God, she's evil. But in reality, they never give any context or have any care. Like, if I was really cared about it, I'd go grab the video. Because when I was looking into when I was doing the video, the targeted harassment campaign against KJP, when I did that video, I took a lot of the things people claimed, and I went and looked them up and actually looked at what happened and then compared it to what people would say happened. And I'm going to tell you now, there's a huge disconnect in between. I wouldn't be surprised to find out that, I don't know, that it was one way or the other. I wouldn't be surprised no matter how it went. But either way, I just think it's crazy. I think people try to find any excuse to jump on KJ. And I do think she messes up a lot. Though everybody messes up a lot. You know? It's the whole point. We're on YouTube to mess up. Or to not. And to just have fun. Or to, you know, whatever. That's why we're here, so. Beano, Reno, Casino, Cappuccino. Thank you, Thomas. Thank you. Cappuccino's great. Next time I want to torture Beano with rhyming, I'll remember that. Watched all the videos. Katie's first response wasn't really good. She was talking about how it was like Sophie was throwing a fit like her son does. Understandable mom comparison. Yeah, but I mean, here's what I would say. Maybe you could tell me, Chimera, because you looked at it. You tell me, right? When Katie said that, did she know? Was it when she had known all the details of the story? Just answer me that one thing, and then we'll move on. Let's see here. Try to support her, but stand with 9-year-old Saul, and also hate when people just did to KJ. It breaks my heart. I don't know, Heather. I think you're trolling me because you keep repeating that over and over, but you may not be. Who knows? Either way, it's irrelevant to what's happening. I just kind of want to find out real quick. Regardless, she did not deserve what they did to her. True. Public square, it's not the pinnacle of academic standards, lol. Oh, I know. Yeah, Sage. Oh, I know. You'll never get that through, though. Yeah. Chimera, yes, she knew that the accusation was over being hurt and assaulted. Okay, okay. Well, thanks for answering my question.
And seeing what was posted about me, I didn't even watch the whole video. I also didn't even read the whole article. I saw what was written. I saw the police report. I saw the names.
They shared the police report? You've got to be kidding me. Wait a minute. Are you telling me somebody went and found something from back in 2007, shared it, and then did a video on it? Can anybody tell me why? What was the reason for the video? You know? It was her initial reaction. That kind of explains it, I think. But I don't know. I'd have to look. We'll have to wait and find out. Okay, Heather, no, you're fine. You just were typing in my chat a lot. I didn't say you were a troll. I just thought you might be trolling a little bit, so it's okay. I don't think you're a troll. I like you. You're fine. You were just spamming the same thing in the chat. So I probably just used a bad word there. Queen Cricket wants Brittany's story. Oh, you got to give me a minute. I've got a little bit to go on this, so. Why would somebody even do a video on her sad situation police report? That's not content I want to see. Well, that's what I was asking. Is there any reason for the video? Did they say? Was there a point? You know, when you do a video, you typically start it off. You got a thing you're doing, and then there's like a point that you're making or a place you're going with it, right? Like this. I'm trying to figure out what happened and then give a sum up, give my initial thoughts on it, you know? They're obsessed. Same as always. They want to destroy her. Did they say, like, I know that most likely was their intent. Did they have a point that they stated, though? Did they say there was a point? I guess that's my question, you know. They said that it was okay because they went through the proper legal channels to get it. No. Yeah, I'm sure they said that, but that does not give them the reason to. But I'm not saying, I know what you mean, Jess. I'm not saying, not aiming this towards you. That definitely doesn't work. They would need to be, like, there had to have been a thing they were trying to show or a thing they were trying to say. Like, there's no way they just sat there and said, hey, we're doing this because we wanted to. There's no way. It's just not going to fly. There's just not going to fly. Zag says, bigger question, why would people watch it? Well, the majority of people that watch that kind of thing are watching simply because they're lolling. It's like to see these people do these extreme things draws the views. It draws people, and the majority of them are just like baffled that it's even going on. Well, there was a blog. The person that wrote the blog went on to a stream and discussed, yeah, but why though? Like, did they ever have a why? Ever have a reason? Ever have a point? You know what I'm saying? They said to state her inconsistencies. Are you kidding me? How is their video still up then? How do you do that over a topic from 2007? How do you do that? How do you do that? Like, why? What? I could understand if it was a topic over like the Chrysles, or what are they called? The Christies? The Chrysleys? Chryslers? It's not the Chryslers, that's a car. The Chryslers? The Chrysleys? Todd Chrysley. I can understand if it was like KJ said something about the Chrysleys. She got some things inconsistent throughout it. Why do they think that Katie's not going to have inconsistencies if she's remembering something from that long ago? Do they think she's a goddess? Do they look at her like she's perfect? I don't understand. I don't get it. I still can't fathom it. The Chrysleys, thank you. There is no reason they're sick. To warn future victims of Katie, apparently, can you believe that crap? Dottie Morgan came into Joe's chat and made that statement. Why? I still don't understand why they were questioning this specific thing. In order for them... See, I'm wondering what made them go get the report at first. That's what I'm wondering. Something had to initiate it. That would be, I guess, the point for the entire endeavor, if you get me. The Chrysleys. There we go. People were upset with how Katie first responded to the Soph story. She didn't handle the backlash the best, then told her own story, doxed someone's family. They had nothing to do with it. How did she dox the family? Though. Chrisley. Oh, thank you, motherfucking crack. Bladdies decide the answer first and then look for things that could prove what they think. The Katie Hate Squad does the same. They'll spin even the mildest thing. It devalues their argument, says Bino. Yeah, it does. It does when they do that, for sure. I agree, Kristen. I do agree. Oh, is Katie in here? Oh, I didn't. Oh, I don't think you did. I don't think you did. That's why I was asking. I guarantee it was gonna. I guarantee the answer was gonna be something to the effect of you mentioned someone, so therefore they were saying you doxed. I wouldn't believe you did, KJ. But good to see you. Good to see you. All that said, the only person that should be prepared to reply to Katie's story is the person that she accused. KJ, the family of her alleged attacker, it wasn't okay in my opinion. She apologized. I don't know how it would be a dox though. Okay, I don't even want to go there. I think that's a powerful word. Did she show something, or did she state whereabouts and things like that? I don't understand. I don't want to have that conversation. Oh, don't do that to me, R-Top. I don't even see You Are Wrong in here. I don't know if my chat... Oh, there's You Are Wrong. Hey, what's up, You Are Wrong? Good to see you, You Are Wrong. Oh, your name, the name of your account is just... All of that are going to these channels, encouraging this, or even engaging are part of the problem. All of you that are going to these channels and encouraging this, or even engaging. I agree. I agree, Katie. I do. I gave that opinion about 15 minutes ago. I think it's gone so far into left field that my whole point was, while listening to what you said here, my thing was why? What was the why? You know, we all do a video and there's a reason, right? Like, I brought this up because you had told me about it earlier, and I wanted to find out what some people thought about it before I moved on to other stuff. And it's just, there isn't a reason, in my opinion, for what this whole crazy response. It's just, it always stems from an attack. It always stems from one of your opinions. You got me? So when you come out and you give an opinion to something, then somebody finds an issue with it, and then when you respond, you know, you're talking, you're trying to get people to understand and telling your story, trying to get people to understand that you have the same kind of story, right? So then they come back to that, and they're like, oh, well, the story she gave now is it's just like a constant dance. Now I understand. I think that if I got out the billboard of doom right now, I could make a pretty good judgment, because I understand the harassment campaigns against you. I understand the targeted harassment against KJP. I did an entire investigation and video into it. So here's my point. Where's my pen? Pen is gone. Well, I can't draw on the billboard of doom without my pen. Oh, just nice. Just amazing. Oh, I can't use the billboard of doom, it seems. Let me just I'll have to just like visualize it. So here's my point. So it sounds like first, right here, all right, first, little dot right here. Actually, let me get my snipping board. All right, nope. I don't know where my pen is, honey. Yeah, my pen's gone. No big deal. I can use paint. Oh, you see it? Well, I'll use the billboard of doom then. Thank you. I've got my pen for the billboard of doom. So here's my thing. Here's my point. So what it sounds like you guys are telling me here, I think I got an understanding. Sounds to me like KJ did a reaction to this first story. So here's the first story. So then people started to get mad and flip out and say, oh my God, she said that she was a brat, or she acted like a brat, or she's being a brat. So then KJ responds, and KJ says, hey, you got this all wrong. Just because my opinion was she was being bratty doesn't mean that I feel other ways. Or I don't know what KJ's response was, but you get me. This is her response. But then we got this that happened. So KJ's response, one of the things she did was tell people her story. She told her story right here. She told people her story. That's what this circle is, her story. So then they say, well, we're going to take her story and try to discredit it. And then that way people will be even madder at her. That's the intent that I was looking for. Remember when I said why? I said, I want to know why this entire thing happened. The whole thing is this. This is where they did this thing, this police report showing. This whole line right here. Let's make the line multicolored here. This line, the line of this glittery line, is where they showed the police report. They had this like video that they did. So what was the intent here? Obviously, I think it was because she gave her story, so what is my point here? These two things seem to be similar. All right. So what is this? This right here was them flipping out because she said that the bratty statement. What is this right here? Them challenging her story with this report, right? You get my point? The intent between the intent of these two things, I'm going to highlight it. The intent of this and the intent of this is the same. They are, in my opinion, just from what I've heard so far, this is an initial opinion, it could change. These are actions that are meant to incite and rebut. I don't know, did I spell rebut wrong? That's how I spell rebut. Put it in my dictionary then. I don't care if it's correct. Even if it's a correct spelling, put it in my dictionary. Do you understand what I'm saying? I think that the same intent for the first thing, oh my God, I can't believe she said that. oh my God, I'm so mad that she said that. Her response here, and then, well, let's try to devalue. The first part. Oh, did I erase it? Let me go back. I got to make some points, because I think it'll help you understand this whole targeted harassment campaign against Katie. Because, you know, once you've studied it, it's easy to tell. You got these two things here. First is KJ's opinion on the Sophie reaction, and then KJ told her story. So right here, the red line is them flipping out about what KJ said here. So KJ does that. Her story ends up rebutting this in their mind. So then they show the report, right? Again, both of these things were these things which getting mad because of her opinion on this and then trying to rebut this seems to have the same effect, in my opinion. So what is that effect? That effect is to incite, instead of a logical discussion, instead of to go back and forth with a rebuttal or a criticism, it seems to be this thing that constantly happens. Now, that could explain why there was this drive for this report to be shown in a biased way in order to cast doubt and throw shade, because to them, it's a war. It's a battle. It's a back and forth. It's a cancel culture back and forth. Oh, man. KJ talked about this story. Ooh, let's all flip out in a coordinated way. Okay, we did that. But KJ ended up coming back and telling her own story, and it kind of won the hearts of people. People, you know, started to kind of feel for Katie again. And you know, it worked for Katie as they saw it. Now, for Katie, she's just responding. To Katie, it's just, this is my reaction to this video. Then Katie sees people getting angry, and Katie says, this is my reaction to you guys getting angry about what I said in my reaction to this video. So that's a normal, honest reaction. If you rewind, the entire time I've been listening to Katie talk about this, what have I been saying? Why did they do it? What was the point of the video? What was the intent of them doing that in that video? Well, I think we now understand. At least I feel like I've got a good initial understanding. Because every time, this is how it goes if you look into these things where people are, you know, flipping out against her. And really, it's the only explanation for this. You know? I can understand why people were like, huh, her describing that behavior as bratty is messed up. And I can understand Katie coming back and saying, just because she was acting bratty doesn't mean that I don't relate to her. I've been through this. Now, the other thing is, they end up proving that Katie was being honest about going through this. Though then they want to show inconsistencies. Why? I think they thought that they weren't going to find anything, and they would then come back and say, Katie made it all up. Katie was lying. I think that was their drive, but I think when they realized, oh shit, Katie wasn't lying, there's a police report, they saw that they could get some content out of the police report. They saw that they could get some reaction. They saw they could get some views, right? And then on top of that, the way you really get the reaction and the views is obviously, you know, come back hard, come back hardcore, make another allegation. This is the cycle that I was trying to hope that Katie could beat. This is the cycle that I hope Katie can beat right here, right? And how do you beat that cycle? Does Katie stop giving her opinion here on things as they go? No, that's the whole point. Of course she's not going to stop. So does Katie not respond here, right? And try to, you know, relate with people and say, hey, this is why I said this thing. Well, here's the point. I think no matter what Katie does, every time Katie gives a reaction, gives a point, gives her opinion, because there are people out there who seek to frame everything she does in the most negative way, the most evil way, the most dumb way. Personally, I think if Katie ignores this, that it breaks the chain. That way, it leaves the initial video. It leaves the initial point, but it stops the ability for all this other stuff to grow. So the question to you is a question I was going to ask from the beginning, but I think I have even more good reason to ask the question now. My question to you, shouldn't Katie be allowed to give her opinion on the Sophie thing? Because shouldn't she be able to? I mean, we all agree that that's what YouTube's for. And if somebody chooses to say, look, I see what happened with this, I'm going to give my opinion to this. Is their argument that Katie shouldn't be giving her opinion to these things? Right? The argument isn't that they shouldn't be able to respond, but they aren't responding to Katie's original opinion. They're not having a logical process or flow from my side, from my take. It's more of any reason, anything that they can find becomes what they throw out. And the way to disconnect that is once you decide to put out a piece of content, let people react as they will. Cut it off at the source. Unless, that is, you feel that we as YouTubers shouldn't be responding to these things. Let me know what you think. I'll go through the chat for a minute. Then we're going to talk about a couple other things. And I want to see what Katie's saying too. Because good to see you, Katie. I'm glad you stopped by. Yeah, I don't believe this is drama either, Katie. I think that you are doing the right thing by taking action. And I think that by breaking down why they're doing what they're doing and understanding it, it shows you really should be invested in taking more of an action, yeah. The Sophie stuff, they refuse to see the history of false allegations. I don't speak to anyone, says Katie. Oh, I believe you. I believe you. I had no idea what happened until I saw your statement on YouTube. My heart dropped, says Shopaholic. You don't want to get involved in the SL case. No, I don't. I don't talk about that kind of stuff at all. I usually don't cover anything related to that kind of thing on YouTube. It goes against my rules. I don't talk about that kind of content. It was my reaction, not hate. Those haters would be on Cruel for sure. Oh, no, I wasn't talking about you. Katie, do what you feel comfortable with. You owe us nothing at all. You got support and acceptance. I don't know who you're all talking about. I don't follow reality drama, says Lisa. Because I support you as a woman, a decent human being. Katie says, I haven't responded at all. Oh, okay, gotcha. Oh, I took it as if they were responding to I took it as if the investigation into that story was linked to the Sophie thing for some reason, probably from my chat, so I might have got that wrong. Well, the point is, that's what YouTube is for. You know, I don't know why everybody gets so butthurt over everybody else's opinions, you know? Why aren't people trying to change Katie's mind instead of running around screaming about how it was so bad that Katie called this person a brat? Now, I know nothing about the story, so don't come at me with anything related to this story. I'm not going to look at the story at all. I don't care to. My point is, let's just say it's a different story. Let's say Katie gives her opinion on Red Bull. Katie says that Red Bull should never be... You should never drink Red Bull. Red Bull's toxic. Everybody starts screaming. Oh my God, she called Red Bull toxic. Doesn't she know that Red Bull helps people? Man, it's messed up she calls Red Bull toxic. The response video, if people are using YouTube for what it's designed for, if you're here for good reasons, your response video would seek to understand why she called Red Bull toxic and then try to rebut her with the reason why you feel that Red Bull isn't toxic. Let me give an example. So Katie might have said, well, it's toxic because it has high levels of caffeine and this other chemical. And research shows that this other chemical is bad for you. Maybe the rebuttal's going to say, no. That other chemical is not bad for you. That study's from long ago. It's been corrected with this study. Now a real response and chain, a real thing has happened, a real back and forth has happened that has an effect, it had a goal, and it actually responded to something. It educated people that there was a change to a report. It opened people's minds that maybe that chemical isn't as bad as it originally seemed. Maybe in the end, Katie changes her mind completely. Maybe not. Maybe she comes back and says, oh, no, there's other reasons. Here they are. And then it continues. But my point is, how does this thing that I've described, the chain of commentary, then response to commentary, then reaction, commentary, reaction to commentary, and then response to the reaction to the commentary. This thing that we are discussing, this thing that Katie's describing in the video we saw here, the video named Thank You, how is not what Katie did, because what Katie did was just do what she always does. I don't see any fault in Katie talking about the story. If Katie's opinion is that, then I think that people shouldn't react by stomping around and getting so hurt over Katie's opinion. Maybe respond with a video that expresses why you feel like you do. A video where you're not, let's say, flipping out, or, you know, you get me there. But what I think happened instead, this response here from them, this whole police report response thing, and looking into it from that perspective, I think that's how YouTube even goes about to determine whether something is harassment or whether something is not, whether it's normal or whether it's harassment, you know? You see what I'm saying? YouTube's going to look at what they did and say, is it logical that they did this in response to what happened? And I'm sorry to say it, there is a lot of victim shaming going on here. Are they trying to say that the event didn't happen at all? Is that what their claim was? Because if that's their claim, they are really skirting against TOS there. YouTube's really strict. It's in the TOS specifically. Things like that are in TOS. You can't do it. Right? Now, if you've got some facts there and you're trying to address those facts in a responsible and respectful way, it could be in TOS. But most likely, especially if you just have some loose points and you're trying to make an allegation, it's definitely against TOS. In my opinion, you know. Well, I'll see what you guys are saying here. All the comments are about Sophie. Dove Kitty said the story was KJ's story alone. No one else should speak about it but her if she chooses. Oh, you mean, yeah. Oh, yeah. I get what you're saying. They refuse to see that the dad has a history. Oh, yeah. Yeah, I read that. I might have read that twice. My dog sleeps with the cats all in one big dog bed. Oh, that is pretty cute. You ever seen kittens? Yeah. You ever see a bunch of kittens, like, hang out with a really big dog, and the dog's always so gentle? Yeah. Well, Heather, I disagree. I think in situations like this, I think Katie has a point. I don't think it matters what Katie says or puts out. People are just going to find any reason to put her name in the video and just throw out a contrarian or negative opinion. You know, because if you really are, let's say, a Katie criticizer, you're going to have times when you agree with her. You're going to have times when you disagree with her. You're going to have times when some point you've made turns out to be wrong and you admit it, right? I don't really see that ever happening anymore from them. They are saying that I'm lying. Okay, that's just direct unless they've got some really hard evidence, not some alleged thing, not something where it was 15 years ago and your memory's hazy looking back on all of this, or that you misquoted something or misspoke something. That is so dangerous for someone to do with their YouTube channel, what they did. I agree, Jess. Sabrina, there's no good reason for them to go over the evidence on YouTube that I've seen yet. That's my point. You get me? I don't see any good reason yet at all. I haven't had a person type a good reason for them to be doing it on YouTube. Right? Why is that type of thing making it on YouTube? Did they find something that blows the whole story wide open and it has to go to YouTube? Because that's not what I've been told. And no, I'm not going to go watch that whole video. No, I'm not going to. That's why you can tell me in my chat now if you watched it. What would be the reason to take it to YouTube for it all? I can't even fathom any good reason other than that they found some huge, provable, 100% discovery and ran. And this is the same criticism I had just a few weeks ago with another story when people ran to YouTube saying something and claiming something or even alluding to something when they didn't have any evidence to prove otherwise. The whole point was, what's the video for then, other than to convince people or to put it in people's heads? And yes, that is a facet of targeted harassment. You can't prove it, but because you hate a person, you believe it. So you're going to get up there and allude to it and allude to it and allude to it. That's a facet of it. It really is. I'm not saying it's direct, but I'm saying it's a facet, and it can be direct. Well, another part of it is the hypocrisy involved. The same people that are doing this are the same people that have doxed Katie in the past. I don't know how anyone even... I have this... I have a rule when it comes to people that dox other people. And you should not... You should only give them another chance if it's been a very long amount of time and they haven't done it again. Kind of weird. They were trying to torture KJ. I kind of agree. How can YouTube stand by and do nothing when this type of bullying and persistent hate towards a creator is happening? They don't like swear words, but constant harassment is okay. I agree, Nadia. The problem is YouTube doesn't know. YouTube is not... YouTube, let's pretend that YouTube has 50,000. No. Let's pretend that YouTube has... No, 50,000 will be realistic. Let's say they have hired 50,000 daily workers, 8 hours a day in different call centers, or in not call centers, but in different data centers around the globe, okay? They got 50,000. Do you realize there is, what was it? I think back in 2017, it was 6 billion hours of, let me look. How many hours of video uploaded to YouTube every minute 2020? 400 hours of video are uploaded to YouTube every minute worldwide. 400 hours of video. Now it's saying in 2019 it's 500 hours. It equates to 30,000 hours of newly uploaded content per hour. So even if they had 50,000 people in call centers, around data centers around the globe, they would never be able to handle even a small portion of what's going on. Talk about her every stream. I see they talk about her every stream. Oh. The only thing you guys can really do to help with this is to stop giving it clicks, honestly. It's the only thing you can do. If you really feel like it's wrong and you're not just saying that, you got to stop giving it clicks. You got to start saying to yourself, okay, every little click, every little view is something. Now, I say only to do that when you're absolutely convinced that what they're doing is purposeful and isn't some type of honest rebuttal or honest content. You get me? Don't waste your life and waste your time with entertaining it. That's why they do extreme things. Why do people clickbait? Why do people take a fake UFO video? Have you ever seen the fake UFO videos on YouTube? Because back in 2017, if you typed UFO video, 2020, May 2020, April, whatever month it was, or let's say, I'm sorry, 2017, May 2017 UFO video. Back then when you did it, it was an entire wall of fake CGI UFOs that were so obviously CGI, you'd say to yourself, how does this have 10,000 views? How does that have 100,000 views? Oh my God, how does that have 1 million views? It's literally CGI, but it says it's real. And people in the comments section are saying, oh my God, it's so real. The point is, Why do people do that? Because people click it. People use extreme clickbait because people click it. This is just another form of clickbait. And it's been going on for like a year and a half. They still haven't put out even one good thing. A single good criticism or a single good thing, you know? And it's funny, too, because some of the people they hang out with say, if no means no. You get me? Well, I'm not looking for reasons as in logical. I'm looking for the reason as in any. I just, so that you understand it, right? The claimed reason and then the real reason. And I think the claimed reason, what we found is their claimed reason is just nobody even really knows at all even, you know? I wouldn't, Shuri, it's okay. I don't even want their name in my chat. I think we can kind of round this point out because it's getting late for me. I got to get in bed soon. I think we can round this point out by saying, by now, I think everybody in my chat is coming to a single conclusion. They're saying that there are certain channels out there that are blanket just stalking, cyber stalking. That is cyber stalking, in my opinion. If they're still doing the same thing they were doing 6 months ago, let alone a year ago, a year and a half ago, no valid criticism, no point of reporting a story, no greater content. Yeah, I think that the lesson to learn is exactly what Katie said when she came in and what I was saying earlier. You got to eventually make up your mind that you're not going to allow them to get your attention and clickbait you anymore. And I'll show you how to do it. If YouTube ever recommends you something and you don't want to see it, do what I do. Let me see if I can find one that they're recommending me that I don't watch. Here we go. Timeline, World History Documentary. I don't want this in my recommendations right here. I don't want that in my recommendations. So I'm going to click it right here and I'm going to hit Do Not Recommend Channel. We won't recommend videos from this channel to you again. This is what you do when you determine that someone you're watching is clickbaiting you, lying, obfuscating, using you to click their stuff by constantly doing extreme things knowing it'll pull you in. I know several channels that are like that out there. You get me? Well, giving it a thumbs down is just giving them more power. It really is. A thumbs down is just an interaction. It's called a... I forget the YouTube word. YouTube has a word for it. I forget it, but it's an interaction. It's the same as a thumbs up, same as a thumbs down, same as a comment. All of that just helps it. I know you're thinking, but that's a thumbs down. YouTube wants to make ad revenue. They want to know what videos people are watching. They don't care if you're hate watching. They don't care if you're love watching. I'm telling you right now, you go in and start giving thumbs downs even, you're helping them out. It's why they do this. 100%. I know, MD. Oh, I'm with you. Oh, yeah. And yeah, Zag, that's exactly what happened. That's exactly what happened, Zag. You want to know why? Because a certain thing happened on Twitter a couple nights ago, and I literally stated it out loud. I said, just watch. They're going to be picking it up after that. Anyway, we've got another topic to hit, and it's getting late. Let's go. Thank you, Katie, for stopping in. Appreciate you. And one more time, if you want my opinion, there it is. If you really feel the way you're saying you feel, the only way to do it. And if you're actively watching it, by the way, I don't even know why you're here. You know, you got to make that attempt. You got to make that. You got to try if you feel that way. I mean, it doesn't even get recommended to me, so it don't even matter. All right. There's a famous actress named Brittany Murphy, and she's been the talk lately with the mystery around her passing. And I want to show you what happened, because I want to do a video that captures this entire scenario and explains all the strangeness surrounding her passing, because it'll never be answered now. That's the one thing I can put money on. Anyway, Brittany kind of exploded after she appeared in Clueless, and she got several roles after. Those roles, she was never just a leading person. She was more of just, there would always be a bigger actress next to her, and she never had that one thing where she got a lot of accolades for it, but she was so good in the movies that she was in that eventually she became like a really, really big actress. So it says here that in 2009, she passed away of pneumonia at the age of 32. And if you know anything about the pneumonia that she had, her lungs were, I believe, 12 or 15. I missaid it the other day. 12 or 15 times bigger than a normal lung. And how in the world was Brittany even able to function with that severe pneumonia happening to her? And it's actually why she passed. So if we jump down to what happened in her passing, this is the official report, sourced, of course, to the sources in Wikipedia. 8 a.m., December 20th, LA Fire Department responded to a medical request. LA home that Murphy and her husband Monjack shared. He had apparently collapsed in a bathroom. Firefighters attempted to resuscitate Murphy on the scene. She was transported to Cedars-Sinai Medical Center, where she died at 10:04, going into cardiac arrest. Shortly after, Assistant Coroner Ed Winter told the Associated Press that it appears to be natural. An autopsy was performed the day after she died, and her death certificate listed the cause of death as deferred. On February 4th of 2010, the LA County Coroner stated the primary cause was pneumonia, with secondary factors of iron deficiency, anemia, multiple drug intoxication. On 2010 February, the coroner released a report stating that Murphy had been taking a range of over-the-counter and prescription medication, with the most likely reason being to treat a cold or respiratory infection. It included elevated levels of hydrocodone, acetaminophen, L-methamphetamine, and chlorpheniramine. All of the drugs were legal, and the death was ruled to be an accident, but the report observed, quote, "The possible adverse physiological effects of elevated levels of these medications cannot be discounted, especially in her weakened state." On December 24th of 2009, Murphy was buried at Forest Lawn Memorial. Then, in May, her widower, Simon Monjack, was found dead in the exact same home. In July 2010, the LA coroner, Ed Winter, stated the cause was acute pneumonia and severe anemia. So here's where this story gets crazy. If Brittany was starving herself, or if she was taking a type of drug, and it was causing this to happen in her body, why is it that just 5 months later, her husband died? It's rare for one person to experience this, combined iron deficiency, anemia, with pneumonia. Now, if somebody intended for both of them to pass, and maybe gave them some type of toxifying drug or poison or who knows, that would explain why maybe two different people have such a rare kind of thing happen in such an individualized scenario to both of them just months apart, young, healthy, seemingly, right? Let's keep going. It was reported that toxic mold was discovered in their house, but this was dismissed, who stated that there were no indicators mold was a factor. The mother, Sharon, described reports of mold as absurd and went on to state inspecting the home for mold was never requested. But in 2011, Sharon changed her stance, announcing toxic mold was indeed what killed her daughter and son-in-law, and filed a lawsuit against an attorney that represented her. In January 11 of 2012, her father applied to Superior Court of California requesting that the LA County Coroner's Office be required to hand over samples of his daughter's hair for independent testing. The suit was dismissed after Bertolini failed to attend two separate hearings. In November, though, he claimed that a toxicology report showed deliberate poisoning by heavy metals, including antimony and barium, was a possible cause of Brittany's death. Sharon Murphy described the claim as a smear attempt. Antimony is a chemical element with the symbol SB. It's a gray metalloid found in mainly as a sulfide mineral. Compounds have been known since ancient times and were powdered for medicine and cosmetics. Anyway, so you can kind of see why there's a little bit of, let's call it, strangeness around this death. You got a healthy, beautiful, successful actress. You've got her marrying a very strange guy. The husband that she picked, a lot of people looked at him and said, "You're telling me one of the most famous, most beautiful women right now went and picked this kind of like overweight, scammy kind of guy." Her husband was known in Hollywood circles and in business circles for making his money by scamming or just by not being honest. Now, the problem was he had known Murphy since she was 2017. A lot of people thought that they were in love. Other people, though, said that her husband needed to be able to get into the United States as a citizen, and marrying Murphy would have given that to him. So some people really started to speculate something behind the scenes might be happening that we just don't know about, especially when you factor in the shady side of life. And if you didn't know, Brittany's father was also tied to the mob, and it's one of the main reasons why he wasn't present in her life earlier on. He went to jail, and he was like doing shady stuff too, so he wasn't really around his daughter. So where does it sit now? Why is it that people are bringing up Brittany Murphy's death? And why is it a new topic when she died so long ago? Well, it turns out there's a video or a movie or like a documentary that's made by, I think, the Discovery Channel or who knows, where they try to look back into Brittany Murphy's passing. And since 2013, Brittany's mother is just gone. She can't be found. So some people start to think, what if these claims that the hair sample contained heavy metalloids that were used as poisons in certain applications, if that's true that it was found in her hair, and if it's true that these two adults who died so close together when they're both young and healthy and weren't exposed to any external thing that should have done this to them, like mold or a chemical or something else that would do this to them, why didn't the mother pass away if it was something in the house? Right? It starts to really make you feel a little strange. Another claim is that her husband, shady business dealings, somebody might have wanted them both gone. Nobody really knows. It's been dismissed as a kind of a mystery. But anyway, some of the weirder things here in 2020, the 9th of June this year in 2020, shocking new claims came out that she was offed by her own mother. Not claiming this myself, just reading the article. And of course, I'm not just going to blanket blame the mother. The theory, though, goes like this. You know, Brittany was in 8 Mile next to Eminem. It was one of the movies that got her pretty famous. And Clueless. Now, the Eminem movie brought in so much money. It was like, I can't even tell you how much money it brought in. It was huge. She was only 32 years old when she died in 2009. When her husband, Simon Monjack, died in similar circumstances months later, many started to think the pair may have fallen victim to something more sinister. Now, I'm not saying that Simon is a bad guy. I think that, you know, Brittany probably was just in love, and so she didn't care that Simon looks like a shady character and doesn't really seem like he'd be somebody that Brittany Murphy would have married. She was dating Ashton Kutcher, for God's sake, and then she just marries this guy out of the blue. And yeah, maybe he's just like super awesome. Who knows? But it does cause a lot of people to think that something creepy was going on. Okay. The couple are now the subject of an investigative discovery documentary titled Brittany Murphy, an ID Mystery, which looks into their sudden death. The program features on Murphy's elderly father, Angelo Bertolini, as he enlists experts that desperately search for answers. And the special forensic pathologist, Dr. Cyril Wetch, comes to the conclusion the actress did not die of natural causes, but instead may have been poisoned. What stood out to me was, here's this young woman of 32 years old, and how could she have developed such an advanced state of pneumonia and such an incredible state of iron deficiency? A lab report on one of Murphy's hairs did show that alarming presence of 10 potentially toxic heavy metals. Where in the world was her mother, her husband? Why didn't she receive proper medical care? I was just puzzled by all of it, Dr. Wetch explained. She had the financial means to see a doctor, then she had prescriptions to strong opiates. It was perplexing. The documentary points the finger at Murphy's mother, Sharon Murphy, who appeared in a series of bizarre TV interviews and photo shoots with Simon Monjack following her daughter's death. These are creepy weird. Also, he did a really weird showing of his home. We're going to watch that in just a second. It is suggested that the pair were involved in Brittany's demise, but then Sharon took action to cover her tracks by offing the husband. Brittany Murphy and ID Mystery will be airing on Investigation Discovery. So, is this Investigation Discovery allegation that the mother might have conspired with this shady business guy that Brittany married to have Brittany pass away so that he inherits all the money that Brittany made in her millions and millions and millions of dollars in movies? Then maybe Sharon got a little greedy to come in. Was that theory just made to try to get Investigation Discovery some views with their new documentary, or does the theory hold some water? Well, the problem is, if you start looking at the interviews of these people right when Brittany was about to die, I think you'll also be convinced that it is possible something freaky happened. Because, my goodness, they were acting freaky.
Genuinely, that, you know, there is, the people stick to the rules, and the rules are followed. They're there to protect people, and that's what they should do. And people shouldn't abuse the system. And when you've got people making accusations, you know, that are false, it becomes more and more dangerous. But when you have people that are genuinely breaking the law, then they have to be brought to justice, and that's the end of it. Whether it's a celebrity.
You start looking at some of these interviews that you'll find, he's talking about people making allegations when he was still alive. Now remember, Brittany passed away, and then like 5 months later, he dies. And he's accusing people of making false allegations towards him when he was still alive. And he doesn't look that healthy right here. I'm not putting the guy down. You just saw the way he looked a few months before this. Now you're seeing the way he looks in one of his final interviews. And I just want you to kind of look at his mannerisms. I want you to take a second to think about what he's talking about and why he would say this. And then ask yourself, is this starting to look freaky, or is it all coincidence?
person. So that's what I think.
How you feel about Corey finding it?
Again, I'm sorry for his family, true talent, and you know, I just find the comparisons to my wife incredibly unfortunate.
Yeah, I'm with you, Nadia. She went from Ashton Kutcher to that, Nadia says. And look, I'm not trying to, you know, be mean to the guy, but it is kind of, I mean, she's really pretty. You saw the video I played right before this where she's in the car. She's really pretty. And I'm not saying that he couldn't get with the pretty girl, but I mean, he looks sick. He looks like, look at the bags under his eyes, the way things are drooping. Like, this dude's a young dude. He looked young and dashing just like a year before this, 6 months before this. You know what I'm saying? Just maybe 7 months before this. Now, there's a video where he shows his house. I want to see if I can find it for you, and then I'm going to get ready to end the live stream. But we will look deeper into this story, and I think that maybe we'll be able to eliminate some of the theories that are out there and leave just the possible ones. Let me see if I can find this. Key Smokey, I found something here. What the hell? Stop with the music. Okay, hold up. I think I got to get through this. I don't want to see penguins swimming. I don't want to see that. Okay, I'm not going to get anywhere with this. Hold on. Exclusive video. World exclusive video. Brittany Murphy's husband shows the bathroom where she collapsed. Here we go. Here we go. Here we go.
Which no one has managed to even come in and clean out yet, and as you can see, my wife had a penchant for cosmetics.
She's a hoarder. Brittany looks like a hoarder here.
Well, most of the cosmetics are mine, as I ended up having to buy them.
What in the world is going on, dude? Like, look at this. All these, like, she's got an entire hair salon worth of products just strewn out everywhere.
This is the little doggy couch.
Wow.
She actually fell. She fell on Clara's chaiselong, and
so she fell onto this in her last moments alive.
Then she was put on her side right here next to the chaiselong.
Yeah, oh, I know. I'm saying not to judge him on looks either. My point was to look at the way he evolved and looked sicker and sicker until he died too. You know, I don't think it's any weird that she married that guy and fell in love with him. I do, though, think that he went from seeming a little more healthy and put together to looking like he was just really unhealthy, like he was being affected by some type of chemical, right?
And then when the paramedics came in, they pulled her through here into the, through the, one of the closets.
Now, I want you to ask yourself something in just a second. I want you to ask yourself a question.
Into the...
Does it bring up?
Oh, well, today is the 3-month anniversary of her death.
Now, why is her husband bringing a camera crew into their home and showing it off 3 months after she passed away? That really weirds me out. That part of the story really weirds me out. I'm not going to say that it's anything too nutso, but it does weird me out. Now, this is just one of the topics that I want to look into for a video that I may upload, might just do it live. Either way, we've got this topic, then we've got Katie still having those current problems. So let's go to the live chat, see what you got to say. Then I'll do a little bit of a sum up, and then I'm out of here. Either way, let's go. It's so bizarre. It's so creepy. It's a kind of a weird mystery to look into around Halloween, you know? He looks fatigued, kind of sweaty and unwell. Yes, our top. Yeah, I agree. Looking like addiction, maybe, says Brooke. It is possible. No, possible. I'm not going to damn the guy. Just possible. All right. There we go. I got no money or weapons in Tarkov now. Am I done with the game? I'm like screwed. I'll figure it out this weekend. Trio, we need to get together and play some rounds. I'll help you get some loot. I'm pretty good at getting loot. I want to play Tarkov right now. Unfortunately, I can't. I need to get offline. I've been staying up too late. And if I even turn Tarkov on for a minute, I'm going to be on for hours, and you know it. And I've been getting some really good games. I've been having some really good PMC kills and scav kills, but I'm getting mad because, like, I'll talk about it later, but I had this... I walk in, I kill a PMC who's, like, shooting me. I had to, you know, do surgery to fix myself, and then a scav comes in and just instantly kills me, and it was like all my bullets lagged out. So I'm having some issues with the game, but I will get there. Anyway, though. So, well, thank you, Heather. Appreciate it. Here's my point. You've been killing it for sure. Yeah, thanks, Trio, man. I'm going to be hitting it up even more as we go. I want to play some tomorrow. I miss Tarkov right now. Here's my point, guys. Hear me out. Look, let's start with the first topic. Well, let me just end the Brittany topic. Keep an eye out. We're going to look into it a little more. I'm going to show you some video interviews of two people, Brittany and her husband, and then we're going to see what we can kind of just figure out at the end of the peak of the story, because these new documentaries on it, they suck. I've watched a couple of these new documentaries. I don't know if I've seen that Investigation Discovery documentary, but I saw some other ones, and they are just horrible. They don't do anything to answer any questions or even make sense. Will do, Justice. But before we... Mimi, thank you. Before we get there, I want to say this. Every YouTuber has a chance to kind of turn it around. Okay? I don't think certain people out there will ever turn it around. Though, one thing's for sure, this last thing with, like, the last year and a half, with all these topics wrapped up in this big ball, it's brought a lot of people into the spotlight. There are people out there who are brought into the spotlight in these stories that typically never would have been, because some more dubious people were so desperate for friends, they would pick up anyone around them as a friend. And some people who seemed dubious ended up trying to work their way out of it and be just a normal content creator. My point is, any content creator can turn it around at any time. Whether you started off harassing the hell out of somebody and doxing someone, or whether you ended up doing it later for some reason. The point is, you don't have to keep being that way. You should at some point be thankful that you really have any type of audience whatsoever, and try to do something legit on the platform, because I know it seems crazy. There's a potential for anybody to do good on the platform. You really are just not having confidence in yourself if you're going to continue to do nasty content, you know, slandering and putting down other people, constantly making claims. You're only hurting yourself. I know that some people have a desire, because they hate somebody else, to just completely sit and slander or lie or whatever. But you are only hurting yourself when you do that, because all of our content, the only people that can speak for us is us. And Katie's the same way. The only person that can speak for Katie is Katie, not any of the people that hate on her, or even any of the people who criticize her and do their best to remain legit while they do it. I used to criticize Katie at one point, right? The problem is, when you get people out there being so deceptive, they'll convince you things that just aren't true matter. Throwing big fits because somebody has an opinion that this person's this way or that person's that way. That's why we're here. The point is, when you disagree with somebody, that's the whole reason for doing a video. You disagree, and you're going to have to start responding without digging into somebody's life, drawing up a bunch of police reports and other things, and acting crazy like that, because you're trying to mimic another creator who's holding a journalistic standard like some others do. It's not easy to try to report things on the internet successfully and to a standard. It's easy, though, to try to run around and pull any report you can and say to yourself that you're so desperate for content or clicks or views or whatever it is that you're willing to throw anything out there. You know, being selective about what you show and actually writing out what you do would start giving clarity, maybe so that these mistakes don't happen in the future. Because really, I still, at the end of this video, have no idea why anybody would think that pulling that report and framing the report in the way it was framed is a good type of content, or it would turn out good for those people in the end. Though you can protect yourself from getting these types of issues, like winding up in court, getting sued, getting a restraining order. You can protect yourself from that, because if you are just speaking freely, you're not slandering or libeling. You're giving reasons for why you think what you think. You're doing the work of tracking the story, memorizing everything, writing it down if you can't memorize it, and giving an honest opinion on it. They can't come in and sue you. They can't come in and give you an RO. They can't come in. Now, even a temporary, by the way, every art restraining order is temporary. You get me? And also, like we've seen one recently, and that one was legit because it had marked the evidence findings that made it to where it was passed. If you look there, it literally shows you the things you can't do. Calling somebody, texting somebody, cyber stalking somebody, tracking them everywhere they go on the internet to find reasons to say things about them. That's the point is, that's the thing that you're not supposed to do. You know, maybe try to do some regular content for once. I just never could understand why people think they're invincible on the platform. I think some people go and look at the YouTube terms of service and then try to look at them and mold them to their content. They try to mold the terms of service to their content or what they're doing to say, I'm in the terms of service, I'm fine. In reality, that's not how the terms of service work. The terms of service are drawn out, and the enforcement of the terms has to be understood and taken as a perspective. And when you make content, YouTube expects you to see where the line's drawn, where the terms of service line is drawn, and stay away from that line. YouTube does not like you skirting the line. They've made the line to a point, and they've made the standard that they don't even want creators getting close to that line. It's why they call creators that get close to the TOS line borderline content creators. That is a term that YouTube uses. What Katie described tonight wasn't borderline content abuse. It was all the way across the line. My point is, if you really value your time on the platform, move yourself over that line and then take a few more giant steps away from the line and just start doing regular content. You'll say, yeah, that makes sense. Why doesn't everybody do that? Because then you don't get those easy clickbait clicks. Then you don't get those, easy views. You don't get the views of the extremeness, you know. I'm sure there were people that were driven to go take a look and say, ooh, I wonder what really happened. Oh, I want to see it. That sounds crazy. I want to look. You got to really prevent yourself from doing that. You should. Unless you think it's okay that they do what they do in that scenario, I would say try not to. Now you're gonna see eventually one thing. There's gonna be a first thing that you look at where you say, like, this is messed up, right? As soon as you see that, steer clear. You got the entire YouTube community. What was it? 500 hours per minute uploaded to YouTube. 500 hours per minute of content uploaded. That's new content every minute, okay? Every 60 seconds. So there's an abundance of content out there. Sometimes it's hard to find good content. You can follow my Twitter. I try to share out good content. I share out a lot of content related to stories I cover, but even then you'll notice me sharing random videos because when I find good videos, I share it for you guys. So the last thing I'm going to do here is hit the live chat, and I'm going to try to be off here in the next like 10-15 minutes. I appreciate you guys for being so willing to kind of give your opinion, to weigh in, state what you think. And yeah, I just want to say thank you. I appreciate the chat, keeping it together, people respecting each other. That's how it's supposed to be. Okay, let's see what the chat has. All right, I'm going to start right around here. I wonder if he will, Sonny. Wonder if I'll what? You talking about me? The heist doesn't work for me sometimes unless I type something after it for some odd reason. Well, the heist has on a timer. Like, all those little things are on a timer. So, the troll sent that to me in my Twitter claiming judge has decided case. Had to correct them. They skittered away. A troll. Oh, a troll. I thought you said the troll. Yeah. I saw that. I saw what happened today in court. And that's what made me at the very beginning of this video say this. And it's all I'm going to say about this stupid topic anymore ever, if you ask me. I have changed my mind on what I thought about that case. I still think that both sides messed up. I still think that both sides, that video I uploaded yesterday, I still stick to that. But instead of just damning Kyle, I'm waiting until the judge rules to make up my mind. And I'm not judging him on anything more than that. And that's what I'll tell you anytime you ask me what I think about that in the future. Because I also believe that those guys are doing exactly what the other people are doing to Katie. I think they're purposely lying, trying to change history, and they're trolling because they feel like they're just so angry they got busted on their secret plan. It almost went off without a hitch. So that's my point. I'm not damning Kyle till I have I agree with Robert Beatty. I'm not making up my mind until the judge rules. Robert Beatty was proven right today, if you don't know. That's all I'm going to say, and I agree with Robert Beatty. I'm going to wait till the judge rules to make up my mind. We have been lied to again, and there's way more going on than what we're being told. We are having a lot of things withheld from us, and because of that, I'm going to wait until the judge rules to make up my mind. That's all you'll get from me from now on. Well, creativity, vision, drive, ability to make something, themselves to sit down and make something. Kind of like what I just showed you with the Brittany Murphy thing. You know, I've been preparing that little Brittany Murphy thing, plus another hour worth of content related to it for a while. I can sit down at any time and just give you the Brittany Murphy thing, you know? And I think that's what these other creators maybe should try to do. Practice studying a story, and then sitting down and giving your opinion or discussion or presentation on it. That's what we do here. Live, it's what we do in uploads. It's just uploads are edited, so. I tagged you, says Sunny. Oh, let me see if I can find it. Please look, says Sunny. I'll scroll up and I'll look for it, Sunny. Did you tag me before? He has till November 5th for 4 p.m. to turn in documents, including discoveries. I know. That's what. Oh, for sure. Oh, I know. Oh, I completely know. I'm just done feeding that beast because now I realize a lot of what they have been telling us in the last few days, that judge just debunked their ass on a lot of things. There is something we're not being given. I don't agree. I think Kyle now should get his ass in here and talk to us and tell us what's up. Because I think there's something else going on, and they're just trying to really hard to distract you. They're trying really hard to get you to make up your mind. They're trying really hard to dupe everybody. I will not make up my mind at all on this thing until that judge finally rules. That's when I'll make up my mind. That's it. Yeah, no point in speculating anymore. No point in breaking it down. No point in talking about it. Just wait for the judge. So don't even damn Kyle. Don't even hate Kyle. Don't even, nothing. Just wait until the judge rules. Then we all get our chance. Let me reload my chat. It's messed up. There we go. Much better. Yeah, there you go. Do a story on the band Threaten. They faked their entire fan base and set up a fake tour? No freaking way. I'll look into it. That sounds crazy. The judge is the only one who has seen the sealed documents and on the nose. And today the judge said, hey, Mr. Curtis, go ahead and turn that stuff in to me. I need it. He didn't say, Mr. Curtis, you're going to jail and you forged. I don't know if you guys knew that. Yeah, there's a filing today. And the judge said, all he said, hey, Mr. Curtis, do me a favor. Turn in some papers for me. Thanks, guys. See you later. It's crazy. It has to be a great story. Oh, that's going to be good, Chimera, isn't it? I agree. I was still in denial. Too many missing pieces. Exactly. And you know, whatever they're telling you is just complete bullshit. Until it's proven, complete bullshit. They've reinforced the fact that we have to make sure we know that above all else. They have reinforced that fact in the last week so much more now. Can never trust a thing coming out of any of their mouths. Just wait for the judge. Yep, everybody thought that it was going to be you lose, he wins, gel time. And instead it was like, hey, bro, get me that documents whenever you can. All right, guys, see you later. We were played like fiddles. We were played like fiddles. He does, Kitty. He does. I'm waiting till the judge, though. I do still believe this is the end of that story. Exactly. Yep, just waiting for the final outcome. Exactly. Fire Festival scam was crazy, too. I'll take a look. I love when you lulls like that. Me too, Sonny. Makes me happy. I get waiting for the judge. I do. Zag, we all do it. I lost the thread. If the girl's dad was in the mob, that might explain why the mom disappeared. Well, the mom is still around somewhere, I believe. When I said she disappeared, I think it's more like she's purposely kind of hiding somewhere. She sold the house for $1.6 million. The house that they all lived in, sold it for $1.6 million and just went somewhere, and nobody has seen her. And if it was me, I would have went to like the country in Ireland or in Suck City, Nebraska. I don't know, New York. Who knows? I would have went out in the country somewhere, bought like a cabin in the woods with really fast internet, and just chilled out and just lived the rest of my life if I was them. That's what I would do. If he did it, the judge has to decide if it was in a stupid attempt to prove he lived there when he did but had the difficulty proving it, or fake that he did it when he didn't. Yeah, I know. And that's the thing. We were told that it's just going to be like, karate chop, jail time. You finished. It turns out that Mr. Riley and Mr. Beatty were the ones that were right throughout the entire thing, and they've been on point through the majority of it. Those are the two professional adults in the story. Those are the two people who have held their own, that are respected members of the community, who actually care to, treat people with some professional semblance. And I think that if anybody's going to get any attention, it should be people that are doing that. I still, think that we have to just wait until we see the final outcome and starve the, you know what? There's this thing about a jelly troll, They can't live without jelly. If they get their jelly somewhere, they're never going to stop because they keep getting their jelly. It's like dope a crack of heroin. They get it every time you glance in their direction. Tiny little drop of jelly. If you talk about them, they get a big old drop of jelly. And if you yell at them, they get an entire jar. Best thing to do? Don't even glance in their direction, because when you starve a troll, when you starve a jelly troll of his jelly, there is one rule that the jelly troll must follow aside from eating jelly. And that is, they must do something to get jelly. They'll go find somewhere else to get their jelly once people stop giving it to them. You really want the jelly trolls to starve? Do you want them to go away? Don't even glance in their direction. Just don't give them any jelly. And I'll be back. See you tomorrow. Welcome to Silverfish Geographic, where we look at silverfish swimming around in his own excrement, trying to find other fish to sexually harass. Yes, here at Silverfish Geographic, the big fish try to swim around and pick on the smaller fish. In the end, all you've got are a bunch of ugly, stinky fish. Silverfish Geographic. Here at Silverfish Geographic, we've got the pretty clownfish. Don't worry, they're gonna be food for the silverfish. You see, all of the pretty clownfish group together into big pockets of subscribers, and the silverfish will try to buddy up to the lead YouTuber around all of the other cool fish until he can try to get them to follow his lies and bullshit. That's what silverfish do, leeching off of every other successful fish in the market. Even the fishermen won't catch the silverfish. If they see they've caught one, they'll just cut the line. No professional fisherman ever wants to reel in a stinky, nasty silverfish. It sucks, but it's just one of the hazards of fishing here at Silverfish Geographic. These men, they reeled in a silverfish many years ago. The silverfish brainwashed them into simping out, and they've been sitting on the beach trying to reach for the silverfish ever since. Some say they'll never leave the beach. That's why you never reel in a silverfish. They'll brainwash you into accusations and SH denial. Here at Soy Burger King, we don't kick you out for cursing people out and calling names in the live chat. Instead, we'll promote you to our greatest simp captain. And as a simp captain, you'll get to dress up and play at the rodeo. And you'll get to have fun drinking Mountain Dew and eating Cheetos in your basement all night, falling asleep watching a live stream and snoring for 7 straight hours before you get woken up by your alarms and freak out and scream about how embarrassing it is. At Soy Burger King, all the things that most normal communities don't accept due to the nature of how disgusting and anti-criticism it is, well, we do those things daily. And not only that, you get rewarded for it. So come play with the kids at Soy Burger King. Soy Burger King, it's funny to call me you know? I'm agnostic about his private parts. Me too. In fact, I'm atheist about his private parts. I don't believe they exist. After seeing that picture... Oh my god, I'm sorry. Give me a second. Wait till you see the new Phoenix Enigma food bucket on the new Non Sequitur show. Why is this coming up? Because he's sharing this guy. Don't believe me? Go look. He's sharing this guy's stuff, where he wrote 2 years ago when I debunked this guy for a boatload of his... What were his conspiracy theories back when I debunked him? Voice to skull, microwave technology, caused Isaac Cappy to jump off a bridge. And when I debunked him, he wrote a blog about how much of a Satanist I am. I'm not a Satanist, ding dong. I mean, you can sit there and cry because I debunked you, but whatever you want. But the funny thing is, years later, that blog sat on the internet collecting dust until a certain boomer discovered it and then tried to use it as a way to attack me. After last night, we clicked on his Instagram stream and heard him admitting with his admin of doxing Katie Joy Paulson in their secret Facebook group with their own mouths. And they're so mad about it that they're willing to stoop as low as they can to try to make me look bad in any way, shape, or form. But newsflash, plot twist, it doesn't make me look bad when you share people who are fucking psychos that lie about really serious things online to sell you fucking food buckets to try and make their money in order to rip off their audience that they lure in with their garbage conspiracy theories. In fact, that only makes me look good. See you tomorrow, guys. And guys, please, just because somebody shares a conspiracy theory nut job because they are in their narcissistic psychopathy trying to attack somebody who debunked them too, please don't buy in to any of their garbage. Because if you buy into their shit, it won't be long before you get yourself a Phoenix Enigma food bucket. Prepare for the apocalypse, the incoming prepper thing you've got to prepare for with Phoenix Enigma. 2 special offers will save you $100. These are your food buckets that we will throw in your front door before running away quickly with your hundreds and hundreds of dollars. I mean, my God, why would you pay anybody for 4 weeks of emergency food when ours only cost $200? The next leading company charges thousands for 4 weeks of food for your entire family. Somehow we've managed to sell you all of this for the low cost of $200. Side effects may vary, like diarrhea, like having your stomach bleed. You might shit blood for a year, but you may even die after eating this, but that's okay because we get your money. What do you get when you order this? You get 2,000 calories a day with 284 servings and 9 stomach cramps every 2 hours. Breakfast, lunch, and dinner, drinks, and snacks, and extra toilet paper, you're gonna need it. 12 food varieties, up to 25-year shelf life. That's right, even though the military can only make their MREs last for 5 years, we've found a way to make our food last for 25. Save $100 right now, because in all reality, it only cost us $6 to make this food, $2 for the bucket, and $8 to ship it. So we're going to be taking the rest of that money that you sent in, exactly $174.55, and putting it in our wallet, so we can keep making shitty YouTube video conspiracy theories. And because guess what? Now we're going to be on the new Non Sequitur show, selling these food buckets with none other than the Silverfish Boomer himself. That's right, your Phoenix Enigma food bucket. Only $200. After you buy 3 for your household, typically members of your household will die. It will be the one that ate the most food. Try to eat as little as possible when you eat your food, because you will die if you eat too much of this food. You'll overdose on all the different things we put in this to make it look like food. Thank you and good night. Philip, Soy Burger now has a free soy boy with every dozen soy latte purchase.